data, as it relates to advertising and marketing in the US, is at least a $20 billion business on its own, which is to say that brands, publishers, ad tech, and all the other users of audience data, people that want to get a handle on who customers are and how they can be engaged with, are investing with third parties over $20 billion on the data itself and on all what we call activation solutions, the services and the technologies that are used to put that information to work. This is a big number. And maybe most importantly, it's not as big as we think the data economy itself truly is. Because the only thing that we can measure as analysts are expenditures that are actually directed to a certain party. It's impossible for us to measure inherently internal investments in staff and other resources that may be involved in the use of data, just as it's almost impossible for us to measure the impact of data that is inexorably tied to certain media channels and cannot be divorced from them. But at least as far as third-party data is concerned and all the services that third parties support, we're estimating that market at over $20 billion in the US alone. Also of surprise to us is the fact that the market actually favors those activation solutions, which I'll break down in a second. From the perspective of data, in a landscape that could likewise be perhaps broken down into dozens and dozens and dozens of subcategories, we see 5 predominant categories of third-party audience data pacing the market right now. And the report will provide, which is available as of 24 minutes ago, provide a little bit more detail around all these categories. But we see distinct categories around what we call omni-channel identifiers that can be used to support independent marketing channels. Transactional data, determining how people purchase both in an online and in a traditional retail environment. Digital identifiers, helping us understand how consumers behave in an exclusively online context. Identity data and solutions that use to support cross-channel identity reconciliation, and then specialty data types that are particularly coming from your more emergent marketing channels, all have their effective share of that third-party market. The solutions, likewise, I mentioned before, actually represent the majority of the market when viewed holistically. They too break down into representative categories focused on what we call integration, processing, and hygiene. That is to say, the preparation of data so that it's usable, it's clean, it can support the activation of data and media in a safe environment, the hosting and management of that data itself, and finally, analytics, modeling, and segmentation.